Hello, 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 folks.
Evening, folks. This is going to be a fun night. I've even got some channel swag on. Evening, folks. This is going to be a fun night.
Always forgetting to mute your YouTube in the background.
Technical problems. All right, so I got some channel swag on tonight, and I got some things I want to show you before we bring our guests on. So we're going to do a replay tonight of Mickelson Family Homestead. If you recall, several weeks ago we were supposed to have them on here, and there was this confusion between Central and Eastern time. But I've got an email back from them as recently as an hour ago that they will be here tonight on time, and they're in their blue room right now. They just arrived. So we're gonna have Mickelson Family Homestead on here tonight. Talk about them, talk about their channel, talk about some of the stuff that they do. So it'll be fun. I think it will be a blast. But before I do that, we went last weekend, Lala and I, up to I don't even know what you call it. I asked Shane, and he said Middle Georgia, but when I would ask other people, they would say like Western Georgia. One called it Middle Western Georgia. So here's where we were last weekend. We were in the middle of Georgia, all the way near or pretty close to the Alabama Georgia line on the western side of the state. We were invited to a hush hush homestead meetup with Shane at Kinfolk Farm that was organized by James Petway at Three Creek Farm. So when all was said and done, there was a bunch of channels there. I listed them so I wouldn't forget any. So Shane obviously hosted this up at Kinfolk Farm. We had an absolute blast. Shane is such a gracious host. I was on His Way Homestead Live last week, and Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm referred to Shane as the kindest man or the nicest man on YouTube. And now, having met Shane in person, I would probably agree with that. So Shane, he's just a really great guy. We met him and his wife Kim and both of his children, and just had a great time. Petway Three Creek Farm, James and Angela, we have met them before. They've been to our place. We met with them also been about a year and 3 months or so up at Warner Robins, Georgia for a meetup. Great people. Also there at this meetup were Ernie Hatmaker, Ed Hatmaker from Ed's Attention to Detail, Craig from Georgia Trapping and Fishing. I've watched a lot of his content, but it was really great to finally meet him. Stacy from Hands in the Dirt. If you came over from Jules or you came over from MB Heritage, I believe that he was in both of them. Another good channel. Tony Walsh, my brother from another mother up in Blackshear, Georgia. Tony is really just an exceptional human being. Him and his wife Jackie both. Jackie chose to ditch him for the weekend and go see their son, who is up stationed in northern New York at Fort Drum. So she was up there visiting her son while Tony went to this meetup over up at Shane's house. Another channel that I've seen in a lot of lives is Robert Castleberry, PAD, goes by Bobby. It was an absolute pleasure meeting and getting to know Bobby. Really great story. I mean, he has a disease, been diagnosed with peripheral arterial disease, and uses hiking as a form of therapy for him. And his long-term goal, despite that impairment, is to hike the entire Appalachian Trail. So a lot of what he does on his channel is related to outdoors and
really
hiking.
Long trail.
Huh?
It's a really long trail.
That's a really it spans the entire.
Actually, if you don't know about that, look it up on the map. Like it's one of those things. It's I have the same outlook on that, and I'm not down on the dude at all, but I have the same outlook on that as like running. Like if I'm gonna run, I'm either chasing something or I'm being chased. Like other than that, there is no point in running.
Well, Lala tried to talk me into it one time. We actually got to the starting point, the southern terminus I shouldn't say that's not. Very close to the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail at Amicalola Falls in North Georgia. And she got me there, and our goal was to hike in an 8-mile hike into this cabin that's completely off grid. And I ended up developing some pretty significant knee surgery that required subsequent surgery for that. So still never did it. We enjoy hiking, but I can only do like shorter things because my knees really begin to act up. You hit 50 and things just start happening that never happened in your whole life. Your body starts falling apart.
I think it's funny the way that you described it to me. I turned 30 and Dad said, "Listen, that God-given warranty that God gave you when you were an infant, it expires at 30. He's literally a day after 30, you start feeling it." So
yeah, so I mean, one of Wright Family Homestead. So Travis and or his wife are in here right now. That is Shane from His Way Homestead's son. So they were also there. We met, like I said, met Shane's sons, but His Way Homestead, Doug and Shelly, they're all over within the circles that we travel in. It was an absolute pleasure meeting Doug. Thus the reason that I am wearing my official Commander Bacon hat. Now he had these with him, but I bought mine long ago. That's one of the channels that I do subscribe to membership on. Is His Way Homestead, and his wife Shelly, who is Healthy Homestead Chick. And between the two of them, they've got a lot of great content. You know, I'm trying to eat healthier, so I've been following a lot more to do with Shelly in the last year. She does a lot of healthy keto cooking. So go over there and check those channels out. But so here's the swag that I got. So I had my hat. I'm just wearing that. I've got my TSG shirt on. See that everything's reversed in the camera. This is a local farm that we do a lot of work with. If you watched the videos, then you watched our swine videos previously. This is Turner Swine Genetics. So they are a pig breeder locally. That's where we get our cull hogs from, our freezer hogs, if you will, or the hogs that both of our grandchildren, all three of our grandchildren, because Patrick showed a little bit. So they showed hogs 3 different times this year, and all 3 of them come from Turner Swine Genetics. So I'm giving them a shout out, even though they don't have a YouTube channel. Great place to get hogs. All right, this is what I got from. Hold on a second. So Mickelson Family Phone, we haven't forgotten about you. Generally bring people in around quarter after, so hang in there. We're on you. I won't make you wait too long. So this was a kind of a host gift from Shane at Kinfolk Farm. This is muscadine jelly. And if you've watched Shane's channel, Shane grows muscadine grapes, 2 or 3 different varieties. I don't want to give you bad information, but I think it's 2 different varieties of muscadine grapes. If Right Way Homestead, if you guys know the answer to that, put it in there. That would be helpful. Then from Robert Castleberry, we got this cool little koozie. Now he does his own printing. He does his own screen printing and decals. And I wore the TSG shirt today because the shirt that I got from Robert Castleberry has nothing on the front, but it has his logo on the back. PAD Life, Overcoming Disabilities to Achievement. To achieving my dream outdoors. So again, he's raising money through sales of paracord bracelets to allow him to ultimately hike the Appalachian Trail. But a lot of what his channel focuses on is really outdoors types of topics. So I think it's something I'm gonna really. I have not dug into that as much as I probably will, but I love that kind of stuff. But here was my grand prize, and this is anyone who's watched this channel for the last, if you're a regular on here, I should say. Last year, probably in the spring of 2021, I had a special guest on here from Australia. So it was Darren from Down Under Farm and Forge, and Darren and I did a live knife design on our Wednesday night live. So we highlighted his channel, but in the process, he designed or worked with me to design a knife that he then subsequently built. Now, the whole reason for this meetup up at Shane's house last weekend was to surprise Darren. Having come all the way from Australia, he had no clue that this was happening until he got there and realized, wow, there's a whole bunch of people that I did not expect to be here. So it was a really, really great surprise. I enjoyed meeting Darren, enjoyed meeting his now fiance, Terry. They got engaged at this meetup. And but this is what Darren brought with him. So this is the knife that I had Darren build me last year. So what I told him I wanted was something that was very stiff, that when I butcher, that I have no flex whatsoever in the blade, because right now it's not really, it's stiffer than a fillet knife, but really when I'm butchering something as simple as chickens, which is really what we've done now, the blade flexes, and I wanted something that was a little bit more stiff, and so this is what he built me. And one side, and you'll see his logo in there, that he processes that in there using electro something. If he's in here, I don't think he's in here yet. And here's the back side. Here's the other side. The handle is handmade out of a native Australian wood. And this is all brass here, brass pins, brass handle terminus here. And then he sharpens it, and this thing is sharp as can be. It will cut paper. Well, that more ripped it. Hold on, it does. So there's your knife cut. So this thing's pretty crazy. Without any effort whatsoever. So Darren, thank you much, sir. Much appreciated. This, I told him that this knife is so beautiful that I'm really hesitant to put it to work. And he told me without any hesitation whatsoever, you must put it to work. So I can't just make it a display knife. He said he will not allow that. I don't know if he would take it back to Australia with him. I don't think he would, because I already paid him. I don't think he could take it back. But I kind of got that impression that I have to now use it versus displaying it.
So let's name some people that's actually in here. We got 18 people. I got 19 starred comments with people that are in the chat and watching the video right now. So got Miss Voon Child. So I'm pretty sure I haven't missed anybody, because I've been starring comments that as people come in. You got Miss Voon Child, you got Kyle Randall, and of course Miss Paula Wills. Jules gardening tips. He sent the herd. What do you call it? A herd or a raid over? So we definitely appreciate that. You got Twin Brook Acres and MB Heritage Farms. One that I think that I've seen in here, but not necessarily all the time. Mountain Maple Ranch. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Another one from across the pond, Down Under Fella. Of course, Michael Michonne. Michael
is it
Marshone.
Is it fella or fulla?
I thought it. Fulla. Well, it might be full. I always say fella.
It's Bradley from Down Under Fella. I love Bradley because every sentence he ever makes, it always ends with a beer bunk raise.
Oh, yeah. Michael Marshone. Commenting on every video. I actually told him, I said, I'm sure that I'll talk to you on Friday. I answered that comment today on one of our videos that we just posted, but I said, I'll talk to you Friday. Apparently I'm talking to you today, buddy. Bunky's Garden over there at the Vineyard Chicks. The Gray Marlin Homesteaders of Texas. Awesome. I don't know if I've seen you in here or not. If you came over from Jules, we do appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Kiss My Grass Acres. I like that one. Right Family
That's
Homestead.
A cool name.
Yeah, it is. The Cow Emporium. Steve from the Garden. Miss Misha Lee and Carl's Off Grid. If I missed anybody, it's probably Hat Creek just came in.
Fordman,
it's probably because you just got here and started leaving comments. You also got a Redbird Farm. So We appreciate all you guys coming in and hanging out with us tonight. While we welcome our guests that, like Papa had said earlier, we tried doing once before, but there was it wasn't, I don't know if it was a clerical, it was definitely a time error.
There's a time mix up.
Yeah, they are. It was funny because they're one time zone after we are. So instead of like just not showing up at all, they were actually pretty punctual.
They were very punctual coming on as we were getting off.
Yes. So instead of them coming on before we came on, which they thought they were doing, they came on as we were getting off. So,
well, one more that I wanted to shout out, and this is the channel that kind of initiated that raid over here, was Ford Man, aka Kenneth Oak. So, Kenneth, we appreciate it, sir, very much, very much. All right, so without further ado, we try to bring the guests in around 7:15. So as you can tell, I was pretty stoked about going up to that meetup this weekend. We had a phenomenal time, and it was just good. A lot of the folks, about half of them, we'd already met in the past, and it was great just to reconnect with them. So without further ado, we want to go ahead and bring in our guests, which are Mickelson Family Farm or Homestead.
And hey guys, so many things to talk about. It's almost like I have to expedite the process, or we would literally sit here and talk and call out until 30 minutes into the live. So welcome, guys.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh yeah.
How are you guys doing today?
We are good. So
we are so good. We're in the future.
Yeah. I
by 1 hour.
I double checked with Kelly this time like 3 times. I'm like, are you sure? What time did they say?
Well,
I'm serious. Tell me for sure.
Normally, I send out the StreamYard link the day before. Usually, you should have gotten it yesterday morning, and I had something come up yesterday, couldn't do it, so she just got it like an hour and a half ago. So, but you got it. So,
yep.
It all works out. It all works out. So here we have, correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't go by this, but Kellie and Kurt.
Yep.
And the only reason I know your name, Kurt, is not because you ever give it in a video, except for you were unloading some livestock from your trailer, and somebody asked you your name, and you said it's Kurt, K-U-R-T or C-U-R-T. That's the only reason I even know your name. So,
well, I better fix that.
Put your name out there more.
Yeah, apparently.
So
I'll remedy that.
So welcome. So we have been doing this for probably close to 2 years, bringing a new channel on each week, one that has kind of came by and commented on our videos and has shown some support for us. Then we will try to generally reach out to them and see if they might be interested in coming on live. I like to do smaller channels if possible. But that's not always the case, because I think next week's is going to be Sandy with Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, which is 65,000.
Oh, wow.
So all things in between. But it used to be we had a limit on here to under 1,000. So, and we did that for a longest time. And I still like to bring those smaller channels on, that show us support and kind of pay back the respect that we're given. So I guess is the best way to put it. And I liked what you guys had come on a few times and left comments for us, and I appreciated that. So I went over, checked out your channel, and that's kind of when I sent you an invitation. I thought you'd be good guests on here.
We appreciate it.
Kind of
this
enjoy
is
what
you're.
you're.
Second live, so.
Huh?
This is only yours. Sorry.
Because a lot of what we do are small channels, Kelly. That's not at all uncommon. It's pretty common for folks to come on. This is their first live, or maybe their second, or they've done videos and it took a long time for them to get comfortable in front of the camera enough to even want to do that. So
there's also a couple channels that they've never done a live, or that, like you had said, you've only done maybe 1 or 2, and then they come onto ours, and it's like almost like breaking the ice. Yeah. And then come to find out 2-3 weeks later they're doing their own live, and it's pretty cool. So That's nothing to it. I mean, it's just us four talking. There's not 21 people listening. So
we got like 21 people in here now. So tell us about briefly. I've looked at a lot of your older videos. That's kind of what I like to do is go back. I don't look at your most recent stuff because that's all fresh in your mind. I like to confuse you with your old stuff. So tell us about your channel in general. What made you even start? What made you wake up one day, sit down at the kitchen table and say, "Hey, we need to start a YouTube channel"?
Well, we're starting a new farm. I mean, we got this place about 4 years ago.
Yeah, probably 4 years.
And we've done a ton of work from top to bottom. This place was so overgrown and just a junkyard, basically. An older couple lived here, and the woods was their garbage.
Wow.
So, all the things that we had to do to rehab this place and the new things we wanted to try, like raising chickens and goats and butchering and all these things, we were watching YouTube channels, kind of like yours. And we're like, you know what? With all the things that we're kind of experiencing for the first time, it's a great opportunity for us to record some of this. And even if it's not for viewers, but it's for us in the future, we can look back on these videos and it's all recorded and it's kind of cool.
We've kind of talked about that, Little Rick and I, and that, for some reason, I don't even know why. We went through and looked at our very first live that we ever did. And we were sitting at the other end of this room with a Surface laptop shared between the two of us, and it just looks ridiculously silly. But we didn't think so at the time.
Good laughs though.
Yeah. We didn't think it looked ridiculously silly.
Come on with it. Come on. What's up, buddy? We haven't seen you in a while.
Well, he's off.
I know he's not.
Yeah, David's off. He's out reaching the big time out in Texas. He don't got time for no small people no more. He's moved. He left. He left Northeast Florida, scooted over to Texas. Now he's over there meeting and greeting with all the people in the Texas circles. So, welcome, David. Good to have you, buddy. We got Lisa in here from Yogi Hollow Farm as well. So you guys, did you buy the property with the intent of making it a farm?
Yeah, it was just a very dilapidated farm. We basically redid everything in the house from roof to carpet. Okay. So it was just a lot of stuff, and then eventually we're like, well, let's start recording some of this stuff and the farm stuff. And we really enjoy farm stuff, the baling, the goats, the cows, the chickens, the
whose idea was it?
I don't know.
Whose idea? Somebody had to have been the main
what?
Start recording.
Yeah, whose idea was it to start a YouTube channel and get in front of the camera?
I would say, I don't know. I went on Amazon and ordered like $100 camera.
Oh.
And
that's not what I thought she was going to say.
And we recorded like a couple videos with that, but the quality was so crappy that I was like, you know what? I'm going to go buy a nice camera. And I decided to drop a couple $100 on a nice camera. And I was like, if I don't use it for YouTube, I'll use it for pictures and stuff. And
yeah. Well, cool.
It was just kind of nice.
So you guys were in sync with that kind of as a goal right from the start then. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like the house, when you moved in, you said that more or less the woods were like their trash can. Was the house in pretty bad shape too?
Terrible.
Yeah.
The first night we lived here, we literally tore out every carpet in the house. That's how we spent our night on an inflatable air mattress on the floor, which also popped because there was nails everywhere. But yeah, we spent the first night tearing every carpet in the house out, and the next day killing everything.
Yeah.
I wish we would have got more of that recorded, and I mean that's kind of what drove us to it though, is like, wow, we're doing a ton of stuff. We should just record some of this. It's kind of,
and I think that's probably really, really good insight, because you're going to look back on everything that you've done in 5 years. By that time, you'll be 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
And where you're at that point is like, holy mackerel. So we had just recently, I don't even know why this came up. I was looking at the plot map for our property, which is 20 acres. And it was the plot map that the timber company used to come in and plant our pine trees so that we could get a homestead exemption in Florida as a tree farm. And it was that plot map that really kind of highlighted for me, holy crap, have we done a lot to this property. It's not even recognizable as the same property. I remember I had posted signs all over this place because the grass was grown so high that you couldn't even see the four-wheelers where they were at. So I put posted signs, and then I put fence all the way around it. But it's just amazing to watch how far you can go with time and the willingness to work. So good for you. Congrats.
I think what really triggered it for me in particular was we bought our first set of goats. I think we bought four. But 4 goats for the singular purpose of eating the brush down in these little wooded areas.
Oh yeah.
And we bought some netted fencing. And the first time we put them out, I was like, oh my God. They cleared the area within a few days. And it looked
What are you going to do with these goats now?
Yeah. No, it was crazy though, because they exposed all this garbage. And we were like, oh man. Well, that's nice because you can't mow through it. You know, you can't go through there with a mower. It just destroys anything you try to clear it with. The goats cleared it up. We were able to go in and cut down all the saplings that were left over, pick up all the trash. It was amazing. And that's when I was like, oh, wow, we should really record that.
Yeah,
cool.
we have
a
lot of planted pines. And with those planted pines, the goats, it's quite funny. And I'm sure if you look back at some of our videos, now we've never really highlighted this. But we have our goats sit on, I think it's 6 or 7 acres. What is it, Dad?
Those are on 7 and the bucks are on 2.
Yeah, so they sit on 7 acres. And it's funny because I can stand at my back door and see literally all the way to Lala and Papa's house. And it's because the goats have cleared a 6-foot high section where they have now stood on their hind legs. You'll have one that'll grab the branch with their horns and then come down with it, and she'll just stand there, let the other ones eat, and then eventually it'll be her turn to do that.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Our biggest doe. Yeah, our biggest doe is 190 pounds, and she does exactly what Rick said. She's got her horns hook. So she'll stick her head up in the tree and pull that branch down and just stand there.
Yeah, them doing that is equivalent to like if I could ask Chelsea to like hold my fork and feed me. But she won't do it. I have asked, and she said no immediately. She didn't even think about it. That's what hurt my feelings is she didn't even think about it. So, me and Chelsea, before we lived out here, we lived more. I call it the city now. But we lived in town in Baker County, and we got a house that was built in 1920. And so I feel your pain, brother, on getting a house that needed a lot of work. The difference between me and you is I did not fix it. So we kind of lived there with the intention of doing that, but it was just like it was a lot. And
it is.
The two of me and Chelsea, and then eventually got up to 3 kids, and just the sheer amount of work, and it was one of those we spent way too much on it, and so it was like no matter how much we put into this house, we're not getting it back. So it was wait until the most opportune time to more or less get it off our backs, and thank God we were able to do that, and now we're
thank goodness for a housing crisis.
What?
Thank goodness for a housing crisis.
Right. Thank God, people needing some housing.
It worked in his favor.
Exactly.
But we got hold on one second, Rick. I want to shout out. We got Pathways in here. So Gary and Cindy, and anyone who's wondering, the Pathways live stream was an absolute complete bust because Mother Nature chose to take out their internet within hours of our live stream. So we have rescheduled Pathways during the summer when their weather should be much more predictable, I should say. So at least that's my theory.
So I want you guys to I don't want you to tell us how you got engaged. Okay? I don't want you to tell us that. I do want you to how'd y'all meet? I mean, were you drinking buddies? Were you know,
Definitely
you
not
just,
drinking buddies.
we worked together.
I mean, how did that work? Because nowadays there's so many.
Oh, that sounds like that's got some story to it. Was it under the table completely? Nobody knew. It was all secretive.
Yeah. So how did that happen? And then we'll get into the how it happened.
Well, we worked together. Still do.
Yeah, still do.
We work at a medical manufacturing facility in the cities. From our house to work is about an hour and 20 minutes currently.
Holy mackerel.
That's kind of part of the time snafu last time too. We might have had more time to look at the whole schedule and figure that out if we weren't in the car so much. But yeah, we work together in different parts of the building. She works in a clean room, cleaning medical parts, and I work on the manufacturing floor as a Swiss machinist or lead at the time. And we just crossed paths, knew each other, and eventually started hanging out and talking, and then bam.
So she found you interesting because you had a really nice beard.
Yeah.
I had to bring it up.
It wasn't as nice then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you.
It was like a little guy.
So I ask all this because Papa has tasked me with showing a very, very, very unique way of courting your or you know, asking for someone's hand in marriage. And we both thought that this was pretty interesting. This is actually
you get the Golden Star Award for this proposal.
Thanks, guys.
So I'm gonna take this banner off so you guys completely see it. And then
you are a lucky woman to have a man that's going to put that much energy into proposal.
Man, I was sweating by the end of this.
So you guys should be able to hear this, and then hopefully my internet's strong to actually allow it to not be choppy. But this is him. He just showed you guys a ring, and then this is a T-shirt.
Well, it's actually multiple T-shirts.
Such a nice thing. I should have fast forwarded all this, and I was like, nah. I liked seeing them struggle.
Yeah, she wanted to see me work in this video. Wrestling a T-shirt on a calf is not very easy.
I can't. Well, the only thing that was in my head watching you do this is there's no way this would go down this fluidly with a goat ever.
Yeah.
What size shirts did you have to buy to fit these cows? That's really what I want to know.
You know, I guessed, and I just got larges, and it was pretty tight, but it worked.
That way the words didn't wrinkle.
Yeah.
So it's funny because he actually tricked me, told me to get a grain bucket, even though he told me we're not feeding the cows grain right now. And I thought that was a little suspicious, but I didn't expect this. No. It's so weird watching it.
I love how red her face gets. It's my favorite.
I don't think that shows up as good as I wish it would in the video.
Oh my god, are you serious right now? You're so fun, dude. Yes, oh my god.
Funny.
Yeah. What the hell? You're so fun.
No.
How'd you do that?
Well, my face face, doesn't
You're
it?
so funny.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're funny as hell. That was good.
Like it?
Yeah, but I was really confused at first because I was like, holy shit, how did
That is a very, very, very unique way of asking for her hand in marriage. So you should have copyrighted it, because I'm sure that if there's anybody that's not married thinking about it, they're going to be like, putting T-shirts on goats and cattle. They're going to their local T-shirt supply tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
They're gonna go put all their animals into T-shirts now. The only thing I could think watching that though is knowing how crazy and nuts and how goats are so wiry.
Yeah.
You could have never done that with a goat.
I got lucky in a way because, like, we spend every day together and a ton of time, so I don't have much time away from her to order T-shirts. So I actually had COVID a few weeks before that and had some time at home, so I was able to plan it all out.
So you put some of that time to work.
Yeah, exactly. So luckily I had a little bit of time to work on that. I was like, we use this T-shirt company to make our shirts for our other business too, and it's funny because they're like, okay, we'll call you when they're done. I'm like, no, you can't call me, because she's gonna see that phone call and be like, what's going on?
just let me come and get them.
Yeah, I'll stop by when about 2 weeks, and worked out.
That's funny. Well, I saw that on there. I thought we gotta chat about that one. So, some of the other things is you were there was a video you put out, looks like October of 20, getting the animals ready for water. And it reminded me of one of the videos that we did of Little Rick, my son, trying to wrangle the pigs. It did not end well for him, and it didn't look like it ended well for you.
No. We've had the pig wrangling experience. It's terrible.
Never had.
I think one person that we can all watch because he does it all the time is Chip over at Hidden Oaks. He literally just chases pigs constantly.
Oh man, I can't imagine that. That is a nightmare.
Well, people were shocked when we start putting out our show videos for the pigs. It's like, how do you get a pig to behave or to obey like that?
Yeah.
And it's like hours upon hours upon hours of training. I mean, those kids were spending, when they were showing, they were how many hours a week, Rick? Probably close to 15
we had
to 20 hours a week at least.
Yeah, we had our a kid that lives down the road who's turned into be a really good family friend. Him and his father and his wife, him, his mom and dad, and his brother have all kind of become really cool family friends.
Yeah, they are.
Their son Matthew would literally, exactly. That's where
that's the shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah, Turner Swine Genetics. But Matthew is really just a kid. But he was literally coming over 4 out of 5 days out of the week, and he was helping the kids get ready for showing goats, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, it takes a lot of work for you to be able to kind of lead them around the yard on one of those. They look like a fly swatter, or you're using it like a fly swatter.
Yeah, Rick, Jay's got a question for you.
Has Little Rick tickled your beard yet? So,
this is going to get creepy.
Do you have some here? Come closer. You have something in your beard. It's right. It's right. It's
It's going to get creepy.
That's great.
He's got in the work that he does, he can't wear a beard, so he's got significant beard envy, like long beard envy.
Though, so I think I have found. We're staying on the beard for a minute. So I have found a hack, like a beard hack. So I'm not supposed to have a beard longer than 1/4 of an inch. That's a really short beard. That's like, I know, it's sad, but I'm not allowed to have a beard that's more than 1/4 of an inch. But what I've done is I keep this really short So it benefits me two ways. One, the first way is it makes my face look less fat. And
That's
then
why I got this
two-
one.
And then two is,
Lucky.
this thing that's going around that exists called COVID. They require you to wear a mask. So if I wear a mask and then this is short, I have a 1/4-inch beard as far as they know.
Yep.
Now I don't know if I could get away with wearing that majestic thing, but I can get away with wearing a little bit more than a half. Yeah, that's nice.
Just tuck it into the mask, and it looks like
Yep,
nose
yep.
hairs. Then you're
There you go.
That'd be some serious
Maybe it's
nose
not the
hair.
beard.
It's your nose.
So
And I wish I could bring my beard all the way up to my nose.
Twin Brook Acres, Rick over there. Good night, buddy. Redbird Farm. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really, really appreciated that. I'm gonna. This is a PG, so anyone that doesn't want like PG comments, then don't read this one. This is from Paula. I'm surprised by you, young lady.
Surprised by you.
On the beard for a moment. Have we heard that before?
So what do you do off farm that you can't have a beard?
So I am a convict guard. I'm a correctional officer in the state of Florida. Good old state of Florida.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, hey, I can't lie. It's allowed me to keep my family afloat, roof over my head, and
Yep.
not the best paying of jobs, but when I go to the hospital or I go to the doctor's office, there's a lot of jealous people. When I pay $20 and no max and all that kind of stuff, it's nice, but
Absolutely.
it's a very stressful job. But there's pros and cons to everything. But
Yeah, he'll only be 20, 30, 42 years old when he'll be able to draw full retirement from the state.
Wow. Nice. That's really
started when I
nice.
was 19. Hopefully, I can get 95% of my retirement, which is sitting right around like 65. So
Wow.
it'll be nice. And then
That's
at
really
that
nice.
point, then I can be like a full-time goat farmer.
Yep.
And so
That's
and
the dream.
I'll grow a majestic beard.
There
too.
you go. It's funny.
So that's his long-term aspirational goal, is that one day we'll be doing lives and he will be the one with the majestic beard.
There you go.
Mhm.
That's funny.
So-
Since we raise goats at work, that's one of the funny things. They kind of nicknamed me the goat.
What kind of goats do you have?
We have Boer goats.
Okay. Do you like that choice?
I love it. I like them because they're not as bad of climbers, jumpers. They provide more of a meat base, and the meat's really good. So we originally got them because they weren't going to jump our fences, and they would eat brush like crazy.
And then we got addicted, and now we have a lot.
Yeah, now we're like buying and selling goats constantly.
Yeah.
How many do
So
you
are
have?
you guys
How big
now?
is your
I've seen one of the past videos. Go ahead, Dad, real quick.
So how
we have-
big's your herd?
We have, I think it's around 23 right now.
That's a good. How many bucks?
We have one buck right now, but he's not going to be our breeder. We get rid of our buck every year and go with a new one.
Well, that's cool. That's a good size herd.
So are you guys still going? Are you guys still going to market, and that's how you're building your herd, or are you guys almost to the point where you can start building within?
We do build within, but I also look for good deals all the time. We sell most of our goats for meat.
Mm-hmm.
Off the farm or at a okay.
So typically, I mean, the people I work with are mostly Asian culture, and they're always looking for goat. They want to butcher it right at the farm, and that's fine with me.
See, we're the opposite of that. We've had many people, mainly immigrants from Africa and Jamaica and Indian, that want to butcher here, and we have not allowed that to this point in time. So we'll take them to the processor, we'll deliver them, we'll pick them up for you and bring you the meat, but that whole interchange. You're buying a live animal from us.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's how we do it.
Recently I found a USDA certified butcher that's close to us, and we started bringing them there. If people want a whole goat, we just drop the goat off because it just gets to be too much time consuming work when I'm butchering.
and that's the key, is finding
Yeah.
a USDA butcher that's within a reasonable amount that you can get an animal in outside of a year out. I mean, we have a non-USDA butcher that we use for our personal meat, and it's 7 months.
So we're really lucky right now. It's crazy because every butcher I've gone to has been a huge wait, and I have been very lucky that these guys will be like a week or two out every time a goat. For a single or two goats, they're a week or two out. I'm sure if you had more, they'd be further out. But
I highlighted one of the comments on here from Randy Smith. Now, I'm not sure if you know this channel, but if you don't, you might find them interesting. They are another exclusively Boer goat herd up in I believe Minnesota. I believe. Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, but Randy's a truck driver and his wife manages the farm, and hopefully Randy said he's going to be down here in Florida next week so we can finally meet Randy. But good information. I mean, and that's one thing. Our best performing videos are really those that are related to managing our goat herd.
Yeah.
So just FYI.
Our best ones so far have been auction videos or the proposal video.
Okay. So Randy Smith, he says he's in Missouri. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking somebody. So he's up in Missouri.
Where
are you guys at?
Minnesota. So it's crazy though. We never really realized how many people raise goats around us until we started getting into goats.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a huge group of people that raise Boer goats around us. Apparently they're very popular. And I think it's probably because of the winter. I mean, they're very winter hardy. So that makes a big difference.
We don't have any. We've got Boer goats, but we don't use them for any other purposes than my daughter's show goats.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that she shows, and she's got a herd of, I think, 4 or 5 of those that she's personally bred.
Yep.
And then most of our goats, I want to say 25 of them are Kiko, all 100% New Zealand registered Kiko. And then we've got a small herd of probably 9 or 10 Nigerian dwarfs that those go as soon as they're born. We got a waiting list for those. Because people just want goat pets.
And those are like purebred Nigerian?
Those are all, we bought a herd from someone else because we weren't sure if we wanted that. And that's where we learned the difference between what a Nigerian dwarf will do to scrub and what a full-size goat will do to overgrowth scrub. You put a Boer or a Kiko on that scrub, it's going to be gone in I mean, depending how large it is, they'll polish an acre in a month.
Yep.
That Nigerian dwarf will never get through that acre. I mean, they don't. They're just not nearly as aggressive with their foraging.
Yeah.
So there's Shannon on here. So Shannon is on here. White Shoulders, Boer Goats, and Farmstead. That's the one that I was thinking of.
Okay.
She says she loves her trucker too. Well, hopefully he's going to finally get down here.
Yeah, we'd love to try Kiko too. That's the other one we've been thinking about.
We have one half Boer, half Kiko.
Yeah, just because there's less issues with them, worm wise and health wise and hoof wise. Yeah.
But if you're breeding for meat versus show, then a lot of those hardiness characteristics, I think you could probably breed out of even that if you got a good starter Boer. Because that's what we do with our Kiko. If they don't show the characteristics that we want in a given year, which is their hooves, if we got to trim their hooves more than 2 times a year on sand, they're gone. If their bag does not shrink back up within 2 months after weaning, if it doesn't begin to noticeably shrink back up and their teats don't look like my little fingers, they're gone. So we generally cull 2 a year for not meeting those characteristics. And then worming, we don't do it on a regular schedule, only on an as needed basis. And that's usually about once a year, one of those being after kidding season.
Yeah. We were culling less at the very beginning. But I feel like the further you go and the further you get into it, and the more you start breeding and having like homegrown bucks or homegrown does.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like you have to heavily cull, and that's kind of where we're at the point now. Like, you know, they might not all go to the market, or not the market, but the butcher. They might not all go to freezer camp, but you know, if you got the goats that we're producing now on farm are of the same stature, or maybe even a little better than what we were getting at first. So, and those were the pricey does and the pricey bucks that we were purchasing, and now we've just, you know, we got a homegrown buck that did phenomenally this year. We have one of our main herd sire is really still our main herd sire, and that's Jarl. But you know, we just continue to work within, do the heavily cull them. Like Dad said, if you got bag problems, you know, we have one that we absolutely love the kids that she produced, and we decided to go ahead and breed her one more time this year because she throws really big kids, and that's one of our homegrown buck is off of her. But she has mastitis, and so it is extremely blown out. But we ended up breeding her one more time, and then if that was her daughter, correct, that just refused to milk or refused to nurse the kids. And you know,
we've been developing that line for 3 years and had really high hopes for her,
but it's kind of come to a halt at this point in time. And so we're probably going to give her daughter one more year, but you know, the fancy, the one with mastitis, she's getting culled this year, unfortunately. And like I said, she throws great babies.
Yeah.
It's called me butcher.
Yeah, gotten rid of. So yeah, we had 2 does this year that they had kids last year and this year. One of them didn't get pregnant, and the other one wouldn't take care of her baby, so we got rid of them.
And see, that's another benefit to Kikos, if you guys do by chance get into that. Is you know, statistically, Kikos have much higher maternal instincts. They're usually much better mothers, and so you know, you have a lot less. The goats you are raising that are better quality than your other goats are going to have bad attitudes.
Yeah, that's not even a funny joke. I appreciate the effort, but that's not funny. I don't want bad attitudes. I want good attitudes in my goats.
But yeah, they, like I said, you know, statistically, the Kikos are a little bit better mothers. So, but I'll tell you this too, is you guys are saying that, you know, you have, you know, cross Kiko, cross Boer, and you know, it's just like a mutt dog, a Kiko, a Kiko Boer cross. We have her name is Ruby. Actually, it's the goat that belongs to my daughter. But it's off of a purebred Boer and a 100%er New Zealand Kiko. And that goat is one of the healthiest does that we have, and she's a mutt. And then the babies that she has are also now mutts, and they're really, really good babies. And it's just
it's the amazing thing is, you guys have kids?
Yeah. We have
many?
We have 3, 8, 9, and 11.
So Ricky, or Little Rick's daughter, is now almost 13, but she's been raising goats since she was 10 or 11. Just kind of spending time with her grandmother, with Lala, out in the barn. And this year she delivered 2 sets of babies, unassisted, just her. And she's over 3 years now growing her own herd. So she's got, I want to say, 6 goats herself. And she makes the culling decisions. She makes the processing decisions. And she sold 2 of her kids today that are Boer Kiko crosses. And she just, we're really super proud of her. So it's just a great thing for kids.
Yep. Do you sell them as bottle babies, or do you wait until they're a couple months? Or
Depends what people want. I mean, if they want to make that commitment to buy a bottle baby, we'll sell you a bottle baby, but we're very upfront with what it's going to take to raise that baby. In fact, we've got 2 of them going out the door that right at this point, they're 2 weeks old, and they're going out the door on Friday to families just can't wait to feed them every 4 hours. And I'm like,
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
That ain't me.
The love-hate thing with Lala. I mean, it does. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the video that we just posted Monday. But it adds a humongous burden to the chore list.
Yes.
So, and you know, my hat's off to Lala all the time. Because she does the majority of the day-to-day maintenance stuff by herself. You know, with the assistance of my daughter Madeline. But you know, even with me and Chelsea both tag teaming it while those two were up north at the meetup, man, I tell you, it was tough. It was tough getting out there. Getting out there, there was no sleeping in. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, period, and it was you're going out there at 9 o'clock at night after you put the kids to bed, and yeah, it's tough. So
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Randy's telling us we've talked too much.
So if you guys have not already, head over. Let me throw this banner up one more time. If you guys have not already, head over to Mickelson Family Homestead. Take a look at the content that they have up so far. It's a pretty young channel, so there's still a lot more content coming out there. You know, maybe we can get them to propose to her again, and in a even cooler way if that can happen.
I want to see you do it with goats. That would be fun.
But go over there, check out their content. Let them know in their comment section that you guys came over from. We're gonna do a raid just like Jules' channel came over and did on the live. Go over there, leave a comment, show some love to them. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. But it's been a good time talking to you guys, and we're very thankful that you guys were actually able to make it on this time.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
you were punctual our time.
You were on time last time, just an hour late because of the time zone.
Just the wrong zone.
I don't know why I thought it was 7 p.m. even though it's at 7 Eastern. I don't know.
Right.
So I want to bring up one more thing before we get off, because at 7:58 and Paula's down to like I think 5-minute warnings now. No, she just gave me a 2-minute warning, literally as I'm speaking. She gave a 2-minute warning. So when I was on here tonight, I don't know. Go over there. We were preceded tonight, as we are most nights. The first at 6:15 by MB Heritage Farms. Michael did an incredible series and continues in that now on literally breeding his own breed of chicken, a golden comet. And tonight's was on, picking the genetic characteristics of that chicken, of what you want to breed going forward. So just a really fascinating. So give him a thumbs up, like him. He does great work. And then more importantly, though, with MB Heritage, they're like at 968 in terms of their subscribership. So if you have not subscribed to MB Heritage, I'd be surprised if most people on here have not already. But if you have not, go over there and show them some love. You will not be disappointed. And they are just really, they've been gigantic supporters since we started this channel 2.5 years or so ago. And then after that was Jules' gardening tips. Used to be Jules' Small Space Gardening. Jules is just a wealth of knowledge. Both of them guys are, of the Garden Gurus Network. Just a wealth of knowledge on gardening and gardening related topics. So go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Paula, can you put up the link to Mickelson Family Homestead once more? Bunky's asking for it.
Yeah, one more time. It's a little bit further up there in the comments. I wish I could pin it and then you guys copy it off the live, but it of course doesn't.
We had a bunch of folks come in here that we did not shout out because we were too busy jacking our jaws. So B&D Crafts and More, Michael Marchone, I think I caught you earlier. Mad Acre Farm, welcome. Got Doug from His Way Homestead, welcome. Who else in here? I think we got Steve from the garden a little bit earlier. Bunky.
Yeah, Michael Marchone, he's been in here literally since the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I'm going to give you an idea who's coming up in subsequent weeks. So I said earlier, we got Suburban Homesteader Wyoming, Sandy coming on March 2nd, March 9th. The week after that will be Hidden Oaks Homestead, another Florida channel over in the Florida Panhandle. And then March 16th, I'm really looking forward to this one. We have all 3 of the vineyard chicks, including Bunky, and I'm gonna try to influence Madeline to attend our
Already
live.
talked about it. She'll be here.
So she's going to be here instead of going to church on that Wednesday. So I don't know how I feel about that. All right, folks, this has been a blast. I hope you have. Kelly, you don't look all that thrilled.
She's tired.
I'm super
look really-
tired today.
She
We
keeps
get
hiding
really
her-
tired.
She keeps doing,
We
doing
get
this
up-
right here.
We get up at 3:30 a.m., so it ends
wow.
up being a long day.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have really appreciated this, and I appreciate you guys kind of being persistent with us and kind of coming on tonight. This has been fun. I've enjoyed meeting you, getting to know you, and I hope to see you around.
Thank you guys so much for having us on. Really appreciate
All right.
it.
Glad we made
All
it
right.
on time.
All right. Good night.
All right,
Good night.
guys. Good
Have
night.
an awesome night.
Good
See ya.
night.
All right, folks. You all take care. Good night.
Night, guys.